Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Jaime Aguilera. I'm co-founder and CEO of Voovio. And yeah, really happy to be here and have the opportunity to share what we're about. So first of all, let me do a quick recap of what we have been covering during this morning in the sense of what's digitalization, right? And I would say that our basically in our industry is the journey towards increasing the availability, reliability, and productivity of our assets, right? So this is why basically we have seen for the last 10 years many efforts such as IoT, data mining, robotic inspections, dashboard, predictive maintenance. I mean, you name it. There are many efforts taking place, and basically most of them are channeled through the what is called the digital twin concept, right? Now, one thing that I wanted to bring attention to is that the assets are run by people. This is how it's been for the last 100 years, and this is going to remain like this for the next 100 years. Why is this? Because at the end of the day, because of safety reasons, economical reasons, and basically because there are activities that cannot be done by robots, such as, let's say, dismantling a pump or doing a turnaround. The industry is going to remain as is captured in this slide. We will have assets basically automatically, let's say, cooking products, and we will have people running those assets through basically procedures, right? Now, why do I think this is important? Because at the end of the day, as many of us know, uh, on average, at the plant level, 40–50% of all unplanned events are due to human error, right? People make mistakes in the field when operating the assets. So if we want to be successful in our digital journey, our digital twins need to capture the influence of the people. And this is what kind of Gartner has coined as the digital twin of the person, right? At the end of the day, is creating a more inclusive digital twin that will drive the, let's say, the availability, reliability, and productivity of our assets and the people. And this is what Voovio is about. Okay, so what we are is a platform that is able to drive the again the availability, reliability, and productivity of your frontline workers by basically covering all the life cycle of the field operator, from the onboarding phase, qualification, refreshment training, field operation, and bringing data, real life data on the performance of the people. So this is the first time that we have a platform that enables us to basically measure the competency level of our people, standardizes practices, and also enables knowledge to now, instead of being property of 2 or 3 SMEs, now it's owned by the company. And that way we can distribute it through all the workforce in a standard way, right? So now, all this is possible because of a new technology that we have patented. And for this, I would like to do a quick demo, because otherwise it's very difficult to understand what I'm talking about. So the first step for creating our platform is what we call the digital replica. Okay, and this is a way of bringing your plant to the screen with all the elements that are useful and relevant to your frontline workers. Okay, and this is done with our technology. Now, if you see it a little bit choppy, it's because I'm sharing my screen. Believe me that in reality it's completely smooth. So right now I'm clicking my mouse. You see that there is a white line showing up and showing me that I can go straight. So I'm dragging my mouse forward, accelerating, and you see that I'm kind of transitioning and I'm walking into this powerhouse. And I have all degrees of freedom, such as you see here, this is a crossroad, and I can decide, hey, I want to go to the left. Just drag your mouse to the left, and you can continue your journey. You have all, again, you can look around, you can make U-turns by double clicking, And this is, let's say, the magic of our technology, which is creating a photorealistic environment that you can walk through it as you would do in reality, right? In a continuous way. Now, there are also here, you see there is a green box here, which is, when I click on it, it will show me a detailed view of an instrument, which I can interact with. With my mouse, right now, I'm opening the valve and closing the valve. So this means that any green box that you see in the replica means that there is an instrument that you can interact with. And all of them are accessible through this components button here in the right-hand side. Now, when I click on it, you will see we have a drop-down list with all the elements in the replica and are searchable. So if I want to find out where is 119, instead of calling my SME, I can just type here 119. And when I click on it, the system will take me directly to it and show me that is a butterfly valve. Now, another interesting feature that we have very useful is what we call the enhanced views. This is a way of conveying how complex systems work from inside out. So you see this manifold that from, let's say, from an operations perspective could be intimidating because everything looks the same, right? So if you have an assignment that you need to connect the downstream loop with the upstream loop, instead of figuring out with your PNIDs, you can go here, click on the X-ray mode, and you can see the flows overlay on top of them, and you can actually interact with the valve to really learn and understand what's going on here. So I'm on the right-hand side, so I'm going to open the middle line. I can see now the flow going this way, open this bottom one, open this bypass, and now you see that in a very simple manner, I have been able to connect the upstream with the downstream loop. So again, this is a way of empowering your frontline workers with a lot of knowledge that is accessible in a digital way. Now, once we have captured the digital replica, we overlay on top of it what we call the simulators of the different standard operating procedures. Again, those procedures that people follow in order to execute operations in the field. So for this, we create several modules from guided up to a test, and then the field piece. So let me quickly show you how the guided looks like. So here we have on the right-hand side the replica that we just saw before, and in the left-hand side we have everything related to the SOP. Below the document, the customer's document, and up here we have the action checklist, which is actually all the steps that the operator has to follow. So going back to the simulator, I'm in guided, so he's telling me, hey, you need to close this valve. Okay, so I go and close it. When I've done it, I click check, and I continue to the next step. So the system has taken me automatically to the next step. In this place, it's in the same location, but it's a hidden valve. And here you will see that a pop-up shows up. And this is what we call the knowledge snippet. This is a way of capturing tribal knowledge that is useful for this particular action that cannot be written in document, basically, or maybe you want to put a video, a safety video, a safety note, whatever. So it's a way of capturing, again, that tribal knowledge that is resident on the experts, right? So now I've completed step number 2. I'm not doing anything. The system is guiding me to step number 3. As you see in the map, it's showing me that he's going to follow this path. And again, this is the idea of the guided module, that you are getting, let's say, walked by the system in an automatic way through the procedure so you can understand it and get acquainted. Very quickly. So imagine that you say, hey, I'm prepared. I want to take the test. I have been doing several other modules, the learn and the refresh. I have learned my business, so I would like to take the test. Okay, great. So this is how it looks like. Again, checklist here, the document. This is not about memorizing. This is about knowing what to do. But now, as you see in the replica, nothing moves. I have all degrees of freedom. And I'm going to show you what happens when you do the first step correctly. So I know this is where the first valve is. This is the one. I'm going to close it. Once I've done it, I click check. Okay, so I acknowledge, and you see that the system is telling me, yep, you did it correctly. Good. Now let me show you what happens when you make a mistake. So I could get confused and think that this is valve number 2. Okay, click check, and you see that now it's popping up a red box telling me, no, you've made a mistake. You manipulated this valve 21B, and he's giving me several options. Continue the test, review this particular action in the guided, or try again, which is what I'm going to do to show you what happened. So I click try this action again. Everything resets to the previous step, and now I'm going to do it correctly. If you may remember, is the one that was hidden behind this pipe. It's already open. So when I click check, you see that now the system is telling me, yep, you did it correctly. But if you read carefully, you will see that it says action completed correctly after 2 attempts. This is why in the background, we are collecting all data. I mean, what the operator is doing. And at the end of the assessment, we create a report that looks like this. That is a summary of what the operator has done, right, during the test. And below, what we're doing is collecting a breakdown of where he has made mistakes. Why? Because all this data is then fed into our cloud platform, and is where our customers have the ability of analyzing that data. Okay? So very quickly, just to show you what we can do in the one small feature that we have in the platform. This is what we're doing is building competency levels of different shifts related to a particular SOP. And here you see in real time how the performance has looked like after taking the test by 13 people. So we have a great group of people that have reached 100% scores. We have an average of 92, but here we have a group of people that actually can get you in trouble. Okay, so now you have the power and the knowledge to basically tailor-made particular training assignments to deal with these gaps that we can see here. Okay, so, and this is the idea of the digital twin of the person, is enabling, capturing the knowledge and the competency level of your people via simulators, and then being able to operate, or let's say, tailor-made their programs in order to increase the reliability of the people. So with this said, I'm going to go back to the slides and continue the presentation. Okay, so I hope this quick demo has kind of given you a small taste of what the platform is about. So a couple of other things I wanted to share. First of all, this is a platform that has been adopted. We have acquired, let's say, big customers right now in North America. As you can see them, they are all can be recognized. And now we are entering the European and in the Middle East market. And we are really happy and excited that these plants are realizing a lot of value using our platform. And this value, let me pinpoint, is realized from day one. This is not an effort that you need to take a lot of months and a lot of, let's say, time in order to realize return on investment, because at the end, what we are doing is actuating on the performance of the people. And this is actually what BASF Geismar, this is a presentation that they made 3 years ago at a conference. That's why we can present. And very quickly, what they were doing is explaining how they realized value with Voovio. So they identify several procedures that people historically made mistakes during the different executions. They had identified and quantified the impact of those wrong operations. And what we did was deploy Voovio on these SOPs and in this unit. And after 6 months, you can see here is a summary that they presented. What we saw is that mistakes dropped to 0, no more errors. And actually, the impact in the training phase of operators really boosted, let's say, the return, because now you can free up hours of your SMEs and have them doing other types of jobs instead of training new people. and actually they were able to put people on shift faster than with the traditional methods. Okay, so this is a kind of, again, very quickly, some of the value that has been realized. And to end my presentation, I just wanted to also highlight that our platform has been recognized by Gartner. Right now, during 2021, they basically listed us in 14 hype cycles. And at the beginning of this year, they identified us as an emerging technology. So we are really, really excited, and I'm ready to close this presentation and take questions from Adam or from the audience. Thank you.
Fantastic, Jamie. Very impressive list of clients you have there as well that I saw on your presentation as well. We've got time for a couple of questions which we wanted to ask you. First of all, obviously, we talk a lot about change management. That's a big thing. I think when you do any technology integration, change management probably should be number one. What kind of change management have your customers needed to make sure to make sure all of this was successfully implemented of Voovio?
Okay, yeah, I mean, definitely change management is a big piece here. I would say that let's put it this way: the big deterrent for change management is when people kind of think that they have to allocate time, right? It's kind of, hey, this is like adding a new task to my pile of things that I have to do, right? In our case, what happens is that we are actually taking things out of their plate. At the end of the day, we are making their lives easier because we're automating things that they have to do it manually right now.
Mm,
To give you a kind of quick sample, when you are executing in a plant, let's say an infrequent operation, right? Usually you have to gather your shift or your crew of people, rehearse the SOP in the control room, take your time, print out the papers, go to the field, prepare, etc. Now, our customers, what they are doing is they are assigning the simulators to that crew. That crew has to do the refresh module and the assessment, and they are just ready to go. They go to the field, and they don't have to, let's say, remember as they are doing. They already know
mm.
what they have to do. So it really makes their lives easier, and also they get immediate feedback again of the influence of the operation. So yeah, definitely we are happy because it doesn't take a lot of effort, not at all, in our case.
It's very interesting because we talk then obviously about the replication of a person, the behavior. Then we talk about the digital twin, which I love the title of your presentation, by the way. Very, very nice sort of quirky title. I think it brings people towards it. I mean, you mentioned during your presentation, the digital twin of the person. In the industry, it's well accepted that you require data to sort of twin an asset. We all know that. We all sort of understand that. But what type of data do you sort of collect from the person? Because we saw a lot about there's technology, but you've got to align technology with the person and the person with technology. So what's sort of your opinion on the data side of this as well?
Okay, that's a very good question. I mean, you see, what we are doing is we are collecting data related to the interaction between the person and the asset, right? This
Yeah.
is the dexterity of the workforce. So we are collecting data that is related to them knowing the asset, from basically knowing the way around to recognizing pieces of equipment, confined spaces, locating valves, etc. So we can basically track down all that data. And here I would say, and I'm borrowing Ibrahim's from Silani's concept before, we are creating actionable advice out of that data,
Mm,
which is the key important thing here, right? Which is, hey, I have this amount of data, now what? Well, we can assess the level of knowledge and the competency level of your crew related to a particular SOP. We can, let's say, compare historically the level of competency of a particular operator to see or to double check that this person is gaining knowledge as time passes by, right? As he works and works in the plant. So we can really track down and understand again the level of knowledge and competency of the workforce related to interacting with the asset.
That's a very good answer. It's so complex, isn't it? But you make it seem very simple the way you present it as well. And I think technologies like yours obviously facilitate that. So, Jamie, thank you very much for joining us. As I mentioned, Jamie is the CEO founder of Voovio, and they have a wonderful stand on the virtual booth. They're also an innovation partner. So please go and visit them, and also contact Jamie directly as well for more information. So thank you very much, Jamie.
Thank you very much, Adam.
Right, we've got a very quick break, probably about 7-8 minutes, and then I'm back at 10 to 3 with a brilliant interview, a Q&A with Jason Gisserson from Chevron Phillips. So if you join me then, and I'll see you in about 8 minutes.